There's something about sitting in a parked car at night that suddenly makes every sound feel personal. Like, why does a leaf hitting your windshield feel aggressive? And why, if everything's fine, do we suddenly feel like we shouldn't look behind us? Hi, I'm Jazz, and tonight, we're not getting out of the car, because something might already know you're here. Welcome to Enigmatic Echoes. Alright, let's ease into it. Or, actually no, let's not. Because this story doesn't ease into anything. It drops you right into the uncomfortable silence, the kind you only notice when you realize how alone you are. The Hookman. One of the most widespread urban legends in American history. And what makes it so effective is how simple it is. Picture this. A quiet road. Not completely isolated, but far enough that help isn't immediate. Trees lining both sides, the kind that block out just enough light to make everything feel closer. A couple sits in a parked car, talking, laughing, trying to stretch the night out just a little longer. The radio hums softly until it doesn't. Static. A sudden shift in tone, then a voice, calm, controlled, warning listeners of an escaped man, described as dangerous, unstable, and missing a hand. Replaced by a hook, now, here's where things get interesting, because nothing has actually happened yet, but the mood, it changes instantly. The girl feels it first, that quiet unease creeping in, that instinct that doesn't explain itself, it just knows. She wants to leave, but the boy hesitates, because it's probably nothing, because the world doesn't just shift like that, right? Eventually they drive off. No figure appears, no chase, no confrontation, just relief, temporarily. Because when they stop and he reaches for the door, something is already there, hanging from the handle, a hook, cold, still, left behind. There's no confirmed case tied to the exact scenario, no official Hookman killer, but that's not the point. The story spread heavily in the 1950s and 60s, a time when independence was growing, and so were the fears surrounding it. It became a warning disguised as a story, a reminder that sometimes leaving early is the only reason you make it home. Now, let's move somewhere real, because the next story, it doesn't just live in whispers, it has a location, a timeline, and a documented encounter. Fairfax County, Virginia, a quiet area near Clifton, forested, still, and home to a place locals call Bunny Man Bridge, officially Colchester Overpass. And no, it doesn't look like something out of a horror movie, which somehow makes it worse. The story most people hear goes like this. A bus transporting inmates from a mental institution crashes nearby. Most are captured, but one escapes. He disappears into the woods, and then they start finding rabbits, dead, hanging from trees, skinned, left like warnings, and eventually, people start seeing him. A man in a bunny suit, not playful, not harmless, something wrong. Here's what we know. In October of 1970, a couple sitting in their car reports a man approaching them, wearing white. Not a clean costume, but enough to stand out. He starts yelling, accusing them of being somewhere they shouldn't be. Then, without warning, he throws something. It crashes through their windshield. An axe. They drive off immediately, shaken but alive. The second encounter was just days later. A security guard reports a similar man. Near the same area, again, white clothing, again, an axe. This time seen striking a wooden structure, aggressive, unpredictable, and then gone. There's no record of an escaped asylum bus, No confirmation of rabbit displays. Those details came later, added, expanded. Because we try to make sense of things that don't make sense. But the truth, a man with an axe, acting erratically in the woods, that's already enough. So why do these stories, one imagined, one partially real, feel so similar? Because they take something ordinary and tilt it just slightly off. A parked car, a quiet road, a bridge, and suddenly, you're not alone anymore. The Hookman is never fully seen, just suggested, implied. But the Bunny Man, he's been described, witnessed, and that physical presence, that possibility, makes the fear heavier. It's not the weapon, it's not even the figure, it's the realization that someone else knows where you are before you realize they're there. Even now, people visit Bunny Man Bridge at night, some out of curiosity, others to prove something to themselves, and a few leave with stories they didn't expect. This is a modern account. One visitor described standing beneath the bridge. No wind, no movement, just stillness. Then, a sound. Metal striking wood. Once, then again, echoing through the dark. They turned, nothing there, but the sound didn't stop. So tonight, if you find yourself sitting in your car, maybe scrolling, maybe relaxing, and you hear something outside, just don't ignore it. Or do. I mean, statistically, you're probably fine. Probably. But if you reach for your door handle and something's already there, just remember, you were warned. And if you made it this far without checking your backseat, go ahead. I'll wait. No? Smart. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, make sure to follow, share, and subscribe to Enigmatic Echoes wherever you're listening. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram for more eerie content. I'm Jazz, and this has been Enigmatic Echoes. Stay curious, stay aware, and maybe don't park on an empty road at night. Good night.